Power's always going to be on. That's what everybody thought.
Was it a people problem? Was it a weather problem?
These guys are heroes right now.
That's how easy it is.
If you don't like the weather in Texas, wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
What? This is what did all the damage.
So you took a risk. I took a huge risk.
I might have bad times, but Houston cares about their people.
These are from hurricanes. That's brick. That might even be a chimney. This was probably a parking lot that went across to there.
To think this was covered in snow
Right.
2 weeks ago. You think there would have been ice as well?
Yeah, oh yeah, no, there for sure would have been ice in this area. Well, Harvey came through right through here. We would be underwater for sure, at least for another...
Like you mean like fully underwater?
Yeah, we would have been obliterated for sure.
In 2017, Hurricane Harvey hit Texas hard, causing more than $125 billion in damage, more than any other U.S. natural disaster except for Hurricane Katrina. Record rainfall flooded the state, and the winds in South Texas were so fast and so strong that equipment measuring wind speed had to be turned off.
We go through hurricanes. We fill up bathtubs with water. We fill up buckets of water. It takes 3 sand pails of water to flush the big stuff down the toilet. So, you know, with 3 boys and a wife, you got to be smart with how you do it.
Walter West is a health safety and environmental safety and risk mitigation consultant who has worked in all energy sectors from wind farms and solar to oil and gas.
My job with there is to make sure that all of the workers are safe.
Walter took us on a tour of Texas energy sites, and our first stop was in South Texas at one of 2 main nuclear power plants generating electricity for the state.
Wow, look at those lights.
So this is what they call STP on Google Maps. It's the South Texas...
STP.
Yeah, South Texas Nuclear Project, and it uses the Colorado River as its main water source. That's the cooling reservoir, 7,000-acre reservoir. This is the basically the 3-mile island of Texas without all of the kaboom, kabang, and fears.
These are all the power lines coming out of the STP power plant. You can see them traveling right overhead.
These are called transmission lines. So they're basically the power transmission to a lower level. And so as the power lines get closer to the house, there's less voltage and amps coming through those lines.
So the ones at the top have the most voltage?
Oh yeah. Those suckers are about, I want to say they're about 6 inches wide. When stuff does go bad, we can hold our own unless it goes bad like it did, and then we're not holding our own anymore.
That's what I'm wondering. What kind of a reality check is this? You know, we're taking a lot of things for granted.
Power's always going to be on. That's what everybody thought. They needed to shut it down because don't think about, nuclear bomb explosion type stuff. Think about just the catastrophic failure of the components melting and explosions happening through the transformers all the way down the line. If it fries everything between here and the house in Houston, 100 plus miles away, you were looking at a 3 to 4 month catastrophic, everyone's without electricity. Had it been winterized and had they dealt with their load, because remember, as it got colder, people started turning the heat up more. So we created more demand. There was more draw on the grid, on the system. The decision to shut it down was actually the best thing they could have done.
There's a lot of confusion about, the power was shut down, and that's a bad thing.
It was bad because they were cold, and unfortunately there were people that died. It's a tragedy, you have that happens. In Texas, I believe we lost 47 lives.
Was it a people problem, or
Yes.
was it a weather problem?
So both. As a combination of everything that could screw up all at one time, people that could have made decisions over the past 10 years that didn't. This has happened several times, but it's always too few and far between.
You think we're looking too short term?
Too short term. Now that we have everyone on Facebook and social media and Zoom, it's like, we forgot what happened last week.
They don't want to talk about energy until it's taken away.
That's correct.
The next stop on our energy tour was the gas pipelines.
Your role in the safety of gas, what do you have to look out for?
Make sure we don't kill anybody.